Hello everybody and welcome to another live Bead Spider stream. So today I'm going to be showing you how to make some fantastic beaded flowers. So we actually have 3 different designs. I'm hoping I'm going to be able to race through all 3 of them and show you them all, but we'll see how we get on. But essentially there's 3 different techniques that we're going to be using together. Just some standard beading techniques, a bit of right angle weave, a bit of peyote stitch, and also a bit of herringbone stitch. And when you fuse those 3 techniques together, you can make all 3 of these gorgeous different beaded flowers. So it's lots and lots of fun to make. We also have a great little kit as well, which if you want to go and grab that kit, you can make with that bundle up to 20 different flowers. You might even have beads for more than that, to be honest, depending on which ones you do, but you will have lots and lots and lots of beads, which is great. And then on top of that, you will also get your hair accessories, which you can either wire wrap to or glue down onto, or whatever it is that you want to do, however you want to attach them to make some fantastic lovely hair accessories from your beaded flowers. So of course, as well, you could also turn them into like earrings or a bracelet or maybe on a keychain, something like that. I mean, comment in with the sorts of ideas of how you think you could use some of these beaded flowers, but I'll show you what they look like, these sort of different designs that we have. There's 3 basic designs which I will be showing you. Just here, and if I just pop it over to my table, hopefully the color doesn't quite look right. Just give me a second and I'll see if I can fix that. Let's try that. I think that's okay. Let's go with that. And pop on over to our little screen here. So we have 3 different flowers, as I've said. We've got one which is a lovely big one like this little 3-leaf piece just here, which you can also do in a leaf form if you want to. We've got these fantastic little ones just here, which give a sort of lovely soft, this one here is done with a herringbone stitch, and of course we also have this 3rd flower just here. These are the same, which you can do them all in whatever colors you fancy, whatever you want to try. These are the 3 different flowers. So, like I said, there's a little bit of herringbone stitch, a little bit of right angle weave in some of them as well, and we've also got some peyote stitch. So basically, once you've made your 3 flowers, you can arrange them in all sorts of different ways to make yourself some gorgeous hair accessories, or as I said, various other styles of things, and just attach them to your accessories as you see fit to make those gorgeous designs. So if you saw our little picture of what sorts of things you can make, then very, very good. But essentially, first thing I'm going to be showing you today, because I said we do have 3 different styles. Let me know which one is your favorite of the 3 styles, by the way. Do you like the really big one, which is the same sort of technique to make this leaf, which is the sort of the largest flower that we have here, which it's almost like a I don't know, what do you reckon? Sort of almost lily-esque. And then we also have this one here. Or do you like, which, I mean, I'll show you one which is in a slightly pinker color. There we go. Do you like this flower here? Or do you like this little sort of bell-shaped one just here, which I guess if you were thinking about it, would be the sort of thing that a hummingbird would try and eat from, I guess. So yeah, which of the 3 flowers is your favorite? Let me know of those 3 types. So I am going to try and get through all 3. We'll see how we go. We might be a little pressed for time. I might only get through 2 of them, so we'll see. Yeah, so lots of things to learn, lots of fun to be had. Of course, if you haven't seen, we do have 2 different colorways of kits, which you can very easily use them together to make your flowers. So let's just do a quick little hello to the ladies and gentlemen who have already joined us. For example, one which I haven't seen before says good morning. Let's say GGC. Welcome to you. We have Christine, who is here. She says, hello, everyone. Eugenia is here. We also have Angelica, who has joined us. She says, good morning / afternoon from Wisconsin. Purple Penny is here as well. We also have Izzo, looks like, Amber, Carol, Deb, Stacy is here as well. She says, hello everyone, dreary day in central Ohio. Thanks for making it a little bit brighter. Well, I think some beaded flowers definitely won't go astray when it's a dreary day where you are. Here in the UK though, it is sweltering. It is lovely and warm. Right here, and I tell you, with my lighting setup, I've got some lights up there, I've got some lights over here, I've got a light underneath as well for the table. It is bright and warm in here, I can tell you that. So those are who we have over on YouTube. We also have, because we are live simultaneously on YouTube and Facebook, we also have Kirsten and Nancy, Arena and Julie are here as well, Judith, Sue, all of you over on Facebook, thank you for joining us. So anyway, I'll show you the different colors. By the way, if you are brand new and you have never seen, we've reached 46,000 subscribers over on YouTube now. But if you haven't done so, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. We have lots and lots of videos coming. Ornella, sorry. Ornella Izzo, sorry, I mixed that up. Her name is Ornella. Lovely of you to join us, Ornella. So yeah, we have two different colorways. There's one which is sort of like the softer, lighter colors like this, the more pastel-y ones, which you do get lots and lots of beads in here. I'm using all sorts of different size 10 Preciosa seed beads, a gorgeous sort of color mixture for those light, soft, pinky tones. We've got some size 8 beads in the green and also some size 10s in green. And then we also have some 4mm round beads, which are pressed check glass. So these are called drucks. If you've ever heard of those, they're called drucks. But yeah, they are essentially check glass beads that are pressed into perfectly little round beads. So this is one of the colorways just here. You do, of course, also get your 3 different styles of hair findings. So, for example, we've got some lovely hairpins just here. Wait, I'll get one out so you can actually see. We've got our hairpins here, like so. So each one of these, you can even thread your little flowers directly onto this pin if you want to try that, or glue them or stick them, however it is. You can wrap them with wire as well. If you use like a nice fine 0.4 wire. I was going to put that into the product category, but I realized I didn't get time. Maybe I'll do that after the stream, the 0.4 wire. There's also some fantastic little bobby pins that you can use, which are great for gluing or wire wrapping onto as well. And then again, they'll just slip straight into your hair. And then if you want to make your piece de resistance, your lovely big focal one that's going to just be absolutely fantastic, you've also got 2 of these gorgeous hair combs as well. So we've got you completely covered. You do also get your thread and beading needle. The instructions will come as a download. So if you've never done your downloads before from us, that is how this one here is going to be coming. Now, the funny thing is I've just seen a comment over on Facebook, which Kirsten says, morning from Canada, I'm watching you on my 55-inch television. It's easier to follow. Well, I'm glad you've blown me up massive. I tell you, I'll get a big head this way, won't I? Good thing I'm just a little head in the corner rather than my full face. So anyway, those are the hair findings. These are the colors of that vintage rose. The one I'm going to be demonstrating with though today is going to be our deep fuchsia colorway, which is a little bit more on the vibrant side. So if you're the sort of person who loves bright, rich, colorful flowers, then the deep fuchsia is maybe the one for you, or is, as we usually do on our website for our introductory sale, is for the first week, if you want to buy both, you'll get a discount. So we have a little double bundle, so you can get both colors, and they go together perfectly, but you'll get a 10% discount on that as well. So all the beads, all the thread, all the instructions, and the findings, all of that together, and a 10% discount when you get both. So anyway, this one here is that lovely soft yellow that we have just here. It's a pearl-lined bead. We've got some of our drucks just here, those round Preciosa pressed glass beads. We've got our seed beads here and our size 8s to play with that one. Now, this particular time, I'm going to start with this style of flower. I'm going to show you how you make one of these little petals just here, and because I have 2 pre-made already, I'll show you how to stitch them into their single little piece just there. If you want them in this, I don't know, what sort of a flower do you reckon this is? Is it like a, I don't know, it's not really a daisy. It's sort of like sort of thing you would see out in the jungle, maybe some fantastic wild flower. Or maybe like a bird of paradise style flower. You know, I don't know. What sort of flower do you reckon that one looks like? But that's the one we're going to go with first. And I'm going to be using this gorgeous, deep, rich, sort of magenta-y fuchsia color just here. Now, I know it is boiling hot. So today, I usually have my cup of tea. I have a lovely, cool glass of water. But I do have my cup of tea with me as well, so, you know, I can have a sip from both as I'm going. One on the left, one on the right. So make sure you've got yourself your cup of tea if it's cold and dreary, your ice cold water, or maybe, because it's a Friday afternoon, a nice gin and tonic or something of that nature. And let's begin. Let's do a little bit of beading, shall we? So first things first, like I said, we're going to make this little petal piece just here using those pearly drucks in the center. And then we're going to be working in more or less something like Peyote Stitch. It's kind of like circular Peyote Stitch to make this fella. So first things first, grab yourself a length of thread. I'm going to be using, do you know what, do we think this shows up enough? Yeah, I think it will. In contrast to our lovely vibrant beads, I think that one will stand out nicely. We're going to need, you don't need quite a meter. If you've got a meter, you will have plenty of thread. You don't need that much, but for your very first one, I recommend it's always better to err on the side of excess when it comes to your thread, rather than having a little bit too little. So first things first, just grab yourself that little length of thread, grab a beading needle. I'm using a size 10 beading needle. You can see this one is well used already. You will get a brand new one if you get the kit. I'm going to just thread it on there, and we're going to, I'll just grab my little beads. Let's take these flowers off. I've got loads of flowers just here that I've been making and playing with. So we're going to start with this one. So like I said, we've got our little pearls just here, which we're going to need 5 of these pearls just here. And then we're also going to need just a few grams, not very much, of our lovely magenta-y color seed bead here. So first things first, we're going to pick up one little pearl just here. So just thread that onto your needle, slide it on down towards the end, and we're going to pick up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 little seed beads just here, which we're going to loop back around and pass through that same bead once again to just lock that nicely onto the bottom here. Now, I'll just zoom in a little bit so you can see it a little closer. These little beads here, we're going to be using these 5 to connect our flowers to each other. Now, before I begin, I will pop it into right-hand view for you. So, Reggie, there we go. Magically, it's all right-handed now. None of this lefty business. I'll flick between them, though, because it is a very easy, simple design, this one. Once we get started, it's lots and lots of fun. So, just get that nice and firm. And what we're going to do to begin with, because we don't want to pass through this group of beads too many times, I'll show you what we'll do. But just keep in mind, we're going to be passing through this at the end, so it's easier to go through the pearl again later rather than through those 5 beads. So first things first, we're going to pick up 3 of our seed beads here, and we're going to pick up 1 of our gorgeous little druck beads, our pressed check glass, and 3 more of our little seed beads. So now we're going to just loop around. This is our tail thread on this side. This is our working thread. We're going to just loop back and go through that little bead once more. And as we pull that tight, these beads are going to sit on top of our previous little piece here. So we're going to kind of be jumping between stitches here. We're going to start with a bit of peyote stitch, and then we're going to kind of go back to making these little, what is technically a right angle weave as well. So now let's go from here. We're going to just weave into the first little bead just here, which we've just added. So that group of 3 we just did, we're weaving into that first one, and we're going to do 1 little bead in peyote stitch. So at this point, we're going to pick up 1 bead, and we're going to skip this one just here, and I'll zoom in a tiny bit more. So pick up 1, skip the first bead, and into the next. So that is going to create 1 little peyote stitch just here on the edge. Now, don't worry if it's a little bit loose for now or not quite in the right position. We're going to be going through this bead a few times, so don't worry about that. We're going to be tightening it up and neatening it as we go. So from this point, we're going to do another little loop on the top where we pick up 1, 2, 3 seed beads, 1 of our gorgeous little pressed glass beads, and another 3 little seed beads. And we're going to just loop from this seed bead here all the way across and into the first seed bead on the opposite side. So if you have a look just there, get that needle just into that very first bead. As we pull tight, it's going to create, I'll just bring it back into position to how I had it just before. It's going to create a nice little loop on the end. You can see we've still got that little peyote bead on the edge here. So now that we've done that, we're going to add the other peyote bead to make it match on both sides. So if you have a look, there's 1 little peyote bead here. We're going to add 1 onto this side too. So just take a moment to make sure everything is relatively firm, and then we'll keep that tail thread out of the way. And we're going to pick up 1 bead. We're going to skip the first one and into the next one just here. And we'll pull that tight. And you'll see it's going to create sort of a symmetry to it now. I'll keep this tail thread out the way so we can see it a little bit better. And ready, you'll see this is going to help to keep things a little bit cleaner, a little bit neater. This is the only time we're going to go, remember those first group of 5 beads there? We're going to attach that to the rest of this work. So this is the only time we're going to go through those 5 beads. So first things first, let's just weave through all of those beads now, all 5 at the bottom, and you'll see that will start to clean everything up. It'll sort of lock it into place. So go through here and around, pull tight, and now, ready? You know how we did that peyote stitch? We're going to weave into that bead that was at the beginning, and then we're going to step up into that little first peyote. So we've gone all the way around, really. We've kind of done it like one big circle. And we're going to just go round in circle after circle after circle, adding peyote down these edges. So now that we're exiting that first little bead that was peyoted here, we're going to pick up 1 bead, and hopefully I was right. This little thread here, you should be able to see it nice and clearly where we've been, where we're going. So now that we're here, we're going to be doing another peyote stitch, but that is from this bead here. We're going to skip this one, and we're going to go into the next little bead there. So just skip 1 and into the next, and then pull that nice and tight. And there you go. That's now going to sit nicely in here. Now we're going to do another peyote stitch. So each time we do this, we're going to do one more peyote stitch, then one more peyote stitch, and one more peyote stitch, on and on and on, till we've sort of continued. So now, pick up one bead, we'll do one peyote stitch, and that's going to bring us out of that very, very last seed bead. Any guesses what we're going to do now that we're back onto the very end? I'm sure you've guessed it. We're going to pick up 3 of our seed beads. 1, 2, 3 seed beads. And 1 of our druck beads, our pressed check glass as well. And then another 3 beads. 1, 2, 3. And to give us a nice little symmetry, we're going to go from this bead and into just the first one on the opposite side. So again, we're creating that little loop at the end. And as I turn that round, it sort of extends it now. And we're going to just peyote stitch on our way back. So if we go pick up one bead, and we're exiting this one, skipping this one, and into the next, pulling it tight. And now we're in position. We're going to do one more peyote stitch. So pick up one bead, skip this one here, and into the next. And as you pull tight, you'll see the more and more rows that we do, the more and more hidden the thread will become. It's a really clever design, this one. So now we'll go into just this first bead, and we're not, see how these are these 5 beads at the end? We don't want to go through them. So we'll go into the seed bead that is just before that group of 5. And then we'll pass straight through our pearl. So down into that little druck bead, that check glass round. And across to the opposite side. And we're going to step up now. So into this first bead, into that first peyote, and also the next peyote. So 3 beads this time. And now we're going to start peyoting down this length. So let's pick up one bead here, skip the first one, and into the next. Pull it nice and tight. And as you pull it tight, you can see it sort of pulls it all backwards. Pick up one bead, skip the next, and into the one after it. Pull through. And now we're going to be back in position, pick up one bead, skip the next, and here we are exiting from the very, very last bead there. And now, just as we've been doing before, we're going to pick up 1, 2, 3 of our seed beads, 1 pearl, and 3 more seed beads. 1, 2, and 3. There we go. And we're going to just loop around and through that first bead once again. And now we can peyote back to make this side symmetrical to this side here too. So pick up one bead, skip that first one, and into the next. Pull tight. Pick up one bead. And see, we're going to skip this one and into the up bead here. Pull tight. Then pick up one bead and into this last little bead. And you see how there's this nice row of straight beads just there. We're going to go through all of those and look where it brings us back to. Straight back to our little round bead just there. So as you pull that nice and tight, there we go. We are back over here through our pearl, across, skipping those 5 beads at the end once again. And now we can continue back up through this little bead here and through 1, 2, and 3, 4 beads. So nice little straight line of beads we're going to have here. And now we can start peyote stitching again. So again, pick up one bead, skip the first and into the next. Pull that tight. Peyote another one. What are we thinking of this, by the way? We have another lovely little bead there we can pass through. Was this easier than you thought it would be? Harder? Dunno. Tell me. What are your thoughts? So pick up one more. we're going to jump and go into the next, and then pull. And now pick up one bead, skip that one, and once again we're going to end up towards the end of our little bead just here. Now, we're going to now finish this little fella off by creating like the point of our little petally piece. So what we'll do now, we're not going to pick up any more pearls. We're going to just pick up 7 of our seed beads. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 little seed beads. So as we do this, we can pull that all the way down to our thread, like so. And if I just hold my thread here, we're going to just separate this little bead on the end. And this is going to work like a little plug at the end of our beadwork. We're going to go through just this first little bead here. Just that one bead only. And now we're going to pick up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 little beads. And this is going to be mirroring the 5 beads here. So we're going to just go into that first little seed bead here. And as we pull that tight, the whole thing lugs down into this nice pointy triangular shape just there that we can now peyote along as we come back. So this is going to give us a lovely pointed tip. So let's make this side match that side. We're going to peyote along, pick one up, skip the first, and into the next. I feel like you guys are hopefully getting the hang of it by now. It's just lots of peyote stitching in a circle, but it's like a really clever way of doing it, that you're sort of doing both sides and growing it each time you go. So just fill each of those spaces with one bead until you get back to that little row of beads at the very beginning. See it just here? Where it's going to bring us back to that pearl. So one last one into those beads here and back to our pearl. There we go. Pull that tight. We'll thread back through that pearl again, like so. Just through here. Pull all the way through. And back up through that edge. And into that last bead, that very first bead that we did on the last round. So this little one here. And now we're not too far from finished. There's just a couple more rings around the rosy that we're going to do. I need to grab myself out a few more beads as well. So let's just pour out a few beads here. I tell you, this would be a fun little point to maybe change the color. Like you could do this darker red for this outer sort of section, and it will give you the final 2 rows of your work this sort of nice dark color. But because I've already made these ones and I want it to match, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to just stick with the lighter color. But you could, this is a perfect opportunity to add a second color. But hey, it's an idea, something to think about, a way to experiment when you make your own ones. It's always something to be thinking about. How can I change it? How can I adapt it? How can I improve it? Once you've learned how to do it, you can sort of experiment and play and see what you can come up with to make something even more fantastic. So now let's just continue now doing peyote stitch. So filling each of those little gaps again, one by one, until we get to our little row here. So look, we're going to just do the same thing along here. So pick up one, skip the first, into the second. And we're going to go all the way down the edge until we're coming out of that little sticky outy bead at the very, very tip just here. So pick up another, skip the next, and into here, through there. And now finally, one last one, and into here, and just pull that tight there. Now at this point, we're going to be using a square stitch. onto the end. So we're going to be just attaching one bead directly onto here. Now that bead is going to become this little one just here. So you can use a 4mm round if you want to. You can use a size 8 seed bead if you want to. You can also just use a same seed bead, the same size 10 seed bead as we have been using to give it more of a point. It's up to you how you want it to finish off. So because I've been doing it with 4mm rounds, I'm going to stick with another 4mm round, but feel free to use a size 8 or a size 10 or whatever bead you want. We don't care. Just whatever is a nice little point on the end here. So let's just pick up one of these pearls. This is going to become the endmost bead right on the tip. So we're going to just loop around and pass directly back into that same bead there. And as we pull that, that's going to just sit on the end of our work. Now, don't spend any time trying to get it sit straight or anything like that. We're going to fix it when we come back. It doesn't matter if you've got more thread on one side or the other. It's not important. We're going to fix that on our way back. So now we'll just pick up one more bead and we're going to just peyote on our way back down. So we're exiting this bead, skipping the first and into here. And it's going to give us a nice bit of symmetry on our way back. So just try not to drop your seed beads, pick one up, skip, and into the next. Skip, and into the next. And now just fill all these gaps, fill them up, fill them up. And then we're going to just do one final last little circle of our peyote stitching to finish this little fella off perfectly. And then we can join them to each other. So first things first, last little bead on this row. So into that one, and I'm going to just weave down. Remember how at the beginning you could see all the thread in there? Remember how I told you it would all disappear? Well, we've got there. It's almost all gone now. So just weave into those beads back to that pearl. Pull down. There we go. And another thing which I really like, as you do this, it sort of makes it curve. See that? See how it curves slightly? Just brings it in to the edge, just really nicely, giving it a beautiful petal shape rather than just being a bit stagnant and flat. It's three-dimensional. Good, isn't it? So anyway, now let's go back up through all of these beads up here. Again, if you're lazy like me, you can do them all at once till we bring ourselves back to that point where we were, just here. And final row, we're going to just weave these little spaces, pick up a bead, into the next, pick up a bead, into the next, and so on till we get to that little pearl at the end. So just stitching, stitching, stitching a bead. And you can see this doesn't take very long. How long have we been doing this one? Maybe like 15, 20 minutes to make each of these little petals. They're all about the same amount of time. Each of these flowers, not very long to make. So let's just stitch this last one here. And to give ourselves that lovely little finish, we're going to just go from this last little bead here and into this bead that we've done at the very tip. So just through here. Find that hole if you can do. There we go. And into our pearl. And this is going to hide that thread. So just pick one up and back into here. And as we do this, this is going to just make it sit nice and straight. Ta-da! Looking good. And now we can just weave back down all the way until we filled each of those gaps. So just pull through each of these. Whoops, one bead only. Make sure you don't accidentally pick up two. I nearly picked up two beads just then. Always just one. Pull and pull and through. So yeah, obviously you will get the instructions on how to do this with our kit if you want to. So make sure you check that out. If you haven't had a look, there's links in the description for all of the different places you might want to go on our website or to our YouTube channel, etc. So I'll tell you more about that later. But anyway, let's fill that last little gap, and we're going to weave all the way down now, back, down, and into, finally, that little group of 5 beads that we used at the very, very beginning. We're going to pass through the first 4 of those beads. So through this one here, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And now we don't need to use this thread anymore for now. Let's just get rid of this tail thread. So I've taken my needle off of this thread now, and I'm going to be using my needle on my tail thread so that we can get rid of it, and then we can just stitch our little petals to each other, which this actually could be a piece on its own. Jan has suggested a nice earring. Yes, exactly. Well, in the instructions, there's actually a slightly different variation, which is a little bit smaller, which is perfect for an earring, actually. Good thought there from Jan. So I'll just pop my needle onto that tail thread here, pass through there, and I'm going to do just a little bit of weaving around through the back of my work to get rid of this thread. So the thing I like about this particular design is that because it's in Peyote Stitch, I can use my round the houses method, if you remember it. If you don't know it, you're about to learn it, to get rid of this tail thread. So just weave into a few of these little beads here, maybe pull it a bit further onto my needle, and I'm going to just weave along sort of down the lower part of the petal. So rather than going through this section where we've gone through it with the thread a lot of times, it's important that you use a nice fine thread, by the way. Like this is why we give you some of our Spider-on. It's perfect for this. So now the round the houses method is sort of just going into the bead beside. Actually, I'll go one more. It's a bit more spacious over there. Into this one here. And I'm going to go into the bead beside here and pull back. And then just directly back into this bead again. And then I'll do it once more. And back into this bead again. And now this is what locks it all into place. So see how just here, there's this little bridge of thread that we've sort of added that joins these two? If you pierce that thread with your needle as you go through it, see that? See how my needle sort of goes through that little bit of thread that we just did? That's going to just create like a little knot that it can't go through. So now I can go back into here, back up into this bead, and because this is at the back of my work, you'll never see it. I mean, to be honest, you wouldn't see it anyway, not from a distance. I will go pierce through this thread even now. So pierce through there and into the following bead. And this is never going to come undone. This is like a really clever way of just doing it without having to tie any knots. And then just bring in your scissors and snip that little excess bit off. And that's not going to come undone. That is nice and sturdy, nice and firm. And it's in hidden and invisible. See, look at that. You'll never even know that we did it. Hidden, like magic. See, if I zoom out a little, once we're back here, which is like the sort of usual viewing distance of a person looking at something, you would absolutely never ever see any of the threads. Like you can barely even see them in here. But especially when you're viewing it from like the distance I am from here to there, I can almost not see them. I'm using my little second monitor over here to see nice and zoomed in extra what I'm doing. But anyway, well, let's turn this now into our... Someone had a suggestion of what it would be. I can't remember. But we're going to stitch these 3 to each other. Now, there's 2 different ways that you can do it. One of them will keep them relatively flat, and the other one will sort of bring them up towards each other so that they're a bit more, sort of a little close together. And if I just... Wait, let's do it like this, actually. So one, they'll sit flat like this. The other way, they'll sort of sit upwards, kind of like this. 1, 2, and 3, all sort of up to each other. So if you want them just flat, that's really easy. just stitching them slightly upwards. I'll show you that as well. So if we were going to just do it so that they would sit flat, first thing we're going to do is just pick up our thread again. We're going to just weave back into that. And through the eye of our needle, come on, get back in there. Come on, mister. Get in there. I need to bite it, maybe. There we go. It's going to get in. Behave. There we go. So just thread that through there. And now, so see how we had this group of 5 beads at the bottom. Here's bead number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're going to join these 3 central beads to the 3 central beads of this one, and then the 3 central beads of this one. So the first things first, coming from here, we're going to go 1, see these are the 5 at the end, 1, 2, and 3. This one here is the center. It sits in the middle of this pearl, see that? Directly at the center of that pearl. So we're going to go through the one before that, and the middle one, and this one here. So this is why we didn't stitch them all together, because if we had, it would be very difficult to go through this one more time. So if we just go through there, and then we're going to pick up this next one, and again, 1, 2, 3, through those centralmost beads, like so. And then back through the beads on this side. So 1, 2, 3, you can see I'm doing this loose. You can do it tighter if you want to, but doing it loose, when you pull them, they'll all just come together. It's also very important to have gotten rid of all of your tail threads as you do this, but this is like a nice satisfying part. Just pull, 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 and it's going to come together into that lovely little flower shape. Isn't that nice? Lovely. Beautiful. So now, if you wanted to just keep it flat, you can weave around that exact same 3 beads one more time. It doesn't matter. But first things first, I'm going to pick up one of my little pearls here, which if you wanted to, you could take one of the ones from the other kit if you're getting both and maybe put one white one in the middle. I don't know, it's up to you. But we're going to go from here, and I'm going to jump from this little bead here directly into this little bead over here. So skipping these 3, and pull it tight first. Get it sure it's nice and firm. I'm going to jump across and into these 3 here. And that's going to just sit that little bead nicely onto the top of our circle. Try not to pierce your thread if it's not fully tightened. Wait, let's tighten it first. It's because I'm trying to do it here on the table. Wait, let's just pull, pull, pull nice and firmly with this thread. Hold it there. And now I can just go back through these 3. See, this is why it's easier if you've kind of gone through it to secure it one extra time. Maybe I will do that, actually. I'll come back to this step. I'll do this bit last. I was going to do it now, but because usually I would do the extra tightening, but I'll show you the other version of what we need to do here. So just take this pearl off for now. And if you want it to stay flat, just go through those 3 beads in the triangle in the middle once more. But if you want it to pop up, we're going to do a little herringbone stitch by joining, see this bead here and this bead here, the first one, so the bead number 5 of that group of 5. We're going to go from one number 5 and into the number 5 of the petal beside. So through here, into the number 5, and then continue through all 5 beads. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, into here, and up into those 2, and then pull that tight. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 again, so into this next bead, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, up here. It's all going to come together nicely in a second. Pull, and up that one there. Pull tight. And now down into this bead here. And pull it nice and firm. And then we're going to thread through 1, 2, 3 again. So that we're nice and central. And you can see now, look at that. It is sitting beautifully upright, like so. And way more three-dimensional. So if you go through and tighten that as well, it's going to be even firmer. Let me just pull on it so it stays nice and firm. Once we've tightened it, the tightening process is always the best way to get your work to stay in position. So let's just follow this little path. I'll go around it one last time, up that bead, just there beside, and down into this one just to get it firmer. Tighten it all together. There we go. See, it just takes a little bit of time, but you can get it lovely and firm. And now I'm going to go through, see, look, these are the central beads, 1, 2, 3. And we'll finally add that one little pearl into the center of our flower from here. And just thread that fella on. And we're going to just jump directly across and into the 3 in the center of this one. So that one, don't go into the very end one. We're going to just skip that and through 1, 2, 3 beads there. Keep it out of the way. And as you pull that, that little bead is going to sit nicely into the center of our little flower, which we can sort of bring it further into position. Let's just bring my whip thread back up here. By tightening it all. And there you go. One little bead sitting all nicely upright. If I turn it sideways, that bead sits nicely in the center. And look at that. Perfect. Three-dimensional. Three-dimensional, lovely, looks great, don't you think? If you wanted to, you could hide that little bit of thread with an extra bead or something if you feel necessary, but it is not completely necessary whatsoever. So there you go, there's that lovely one just there. 3 petals, three-dimensional as well. If I turn it sideways, you can see it's now all folded inwards like that. So that's that first little flower. How long have we got? Okay, I will power through a second flower just very quickly. I'll just get it started and show you because we've spent a little while stitching that one together. I should have been a bit quicker on the stitching, but I'll look very, very quickly at the other one, which I'll show you how to make this one just here. So I'll just show you the inner part, how to get it started, and then you'll sort of get the gist from there. It's just doing extra peyote rounds once we've got our base structure. So first things first, let me just grab myself some of my beads. I think I'll you know what, let's do it in this color here, shall we? I'll use my base with these ones. I tell you, I went too long. I wasn't paying attention to the time. Oh well. So I'll be quick. We'll start the next flower. And we can just do partial on that one because once you've got the hang of it, it's very easy to just continue. So let's get rid of these beads. And what color shall I do this one in? Shall I do it in... Maybe I'll try one of these other... What do you think? Maybe the dark red or this softer pink? Which one takes your fancy? Which one do you like? Or maybe I should use one of the ones from the lighter section? Tell me, ladies, which colours do you like? Maybe do you know what? Let's make it with this really deep red. I think it's going to look fantastic with that deep red. So I'll just get it out and we'll start this one really quickly. I'll do this one as quick as I can so that we can get on with our day and, enjoy our weekend. Not too long. So first things first, I'm going to use these are also size 10s. These are all size 10s. I'm going to do Jermaine wants me to do another yellow, but I want to do this deep red color. I really like the look of it. I think it's going to look fantastic in this flower. I want to do it. So we're going to pick up, again, a nice meter or so of thread. Probably don't need the whole meter, but we'll do it anyway. It's better to have too much thread than not enough. Changing threads right at the end is annoying. So we won't do that. Let's just grab ourselves our little piece just here, and we can thread our needle through the eye. And the nice thing is we don't need to we don't need to stop a bead or anything. We're going to just pick up 3 of these little seed beads. So 1, 2, 3 seed beads. See just there? And I'm going to just weave through them all. So weave this down to the tail. The tail you only need for getting rid of it at the end. So I'm going to pass through all 3 beads once again. And I'm going to tie the 2 threads to each other. So just left over right and pull, and that will bring them into a nice little circle shape like that. Now, I could do another knot, but I don't want it to get too full of beads just yet. So, I mean, it's up to you. You can either tie another knot now, which will keep it more firm, but then the knot might get in the way, or you can tie the knot later, but I'm going to just tie it now because I'm lazy and I want to just do it this quicker method. So let's just tie that knot. There we go. And I'm sure I can get around my knot if I need to. And I'll just pass through this little bead here. So through there. So we're exiting just one of these little beads of our group of 3. Okay? So there we go. Pull that. And we're going to go 1, 2, 3 little beads here. And just straight into the next one. So through there. And pull tight so that it sort of sits on the outside like that. Then we're going to do another 3 of this lovely deep red color. 1, 2, 3. And into the next bead around our circle. And get it in position. And finally, one last one. 1, 2, 3 little beads. And into that first green bead again. And the first 2. We want to be exiting from the one that's sort of sticking out at the end of this little point. So pull, 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 all the way like that. So you have this little green section in the middle. We have one bead, one little group just here, and we're exiting from that central little bead of our triangle. See that? So now we're going to do some right angle weave along this outside edge. So the number of right angle weaves that you do right now is going to determine the size of your little petal. So let's go 3 beads back into this bead like before and pull that tight. And now we're going to just weave until we're exiting from the topmost bead once again. So pull through there and back to the top. See? So now we have this tiny little cross of beads at the top. We're going to go 1, pick up 3 more, loop back, pull tight, and that's going to give us another one. So let's weave it up the edge and into the top there, through there. And one last one. 1, 2, 3, loop around, back through there. We're going to weave back down now, so we don't need to go back into this. We can just weave back along our right angle weave. So we'll go into one edge, back through the middle one here, then back down into the next right angle weave and through that middle one like so. And now see that? We're back in position that we can now bring ourselves into this bead here, through that little green one, pull through, and we can bring ourselves up into this one here and out of this one as well. See there? So there we go. We're now coming out of, we've added on a little spoke just there, which is going to become the core of our petal here. And then we're going to add our next little spoke on the same side here. So 1, 2, 3 little beads, loop around, pull tight, get that tail thread out of the way. Might just pin onto that for now. And we're going to weave up the edge through one and up to the top. There we go. Then 1, 2, 3 beads again, loop around and into that bead from the other side again, pull tight, weave up to the top, so through those beads, once more, pull tight, and 1, 2, 3, loop around and into that bead once again. And now we're going to just weave back down into our work through those little right angle weaves, which also helps to firm them up, which is good, because if any of them get a little bit loose, like this one has, it's about to be firmed up by passing back through it once again. And now, if you have a look, we're in position to now, I'll just flip it over. We're now in position to go back through this edge bead into that final green bead and up into that right angle weave. So what are we thinking of this design, by the way? Do you, which one are you finding more interesting? Did you like this flower more interesting, or do you like the other flower more interesting? Let me know. Comment in. Come on, guys. I know you're all watching, but comment. Let's have a chat. So 1, 2, 3 seed beads, loop around and into here. 1 up to the end. Pick up another 3 seed beads. 1, 2, 3, loop around. Don't stab yourself in the finger because it really hurts. Pull tight, flip it over to make it threading through a bit easier. Up that one and into the very end bead again. Pull tight, and now let's add on our third one here. 1, 2, 3, loop around through there. I'm going to weave back down now. So down the side, through the middle one, and back down here, through that middle one. And once we've done this little base, we'll weave ourselves back into that last little bead before that green one. Okay, so we're not going to go into the green bead. We're going to go into this bead here, skip the green bead, and into the next one. So you know how when we did that with our previous one, that helped our little flowers to sort of stand a bit more upright? Well, this is going to do the same process. So see that? It just pulls these 2 beads closer to each other. And now what we're going to do is a little bit of peyote stitch. So now it's very, very similar to our previous one. So we're going to just pick up 1 little bead and we're going to peyote into the next. Then pick up 1 little bead and peyote into the next gap. And then 1 little bead and into the next. And from here, we're going to go 1 little bead and into the top. So through this one, into this very top. And now to help us extend the size of our little piece just here, we're going to add 1 onto the end. So we're going to loop back through this bead, and that's going to just sit there on the top. And now we're ready to continue. So we're going to just pick this up and go into the next bead. So this is creating like a little picot that's going to match this edge here. And now we're going to just peyote into the next bead. Peyote into the next bead. Do the third one as well in the same way, like so. And we're not going to go into the green bead here either. We're going to skip that little green fella. So pull that tight, skip our little green bead, and go into this next one here, pull it tight, and that's going to bring that nice and close. So now we can peyote the next petal. So into here, peyote into the next one, do a third bead, and into the corner. So I'm going to do the first whole round just to show you. Pull that, then pick one bead, loop back, and add one onto the end. And now just rotate around, and we're going to go one bead in the gap, add on another, and then another gap, fill the next gap, and the next gap, into there, pull tight, and now this time we're going to once again skip that yellow one, go into the next bead, and pull tight. So go into this bead here, peyote it along. Now there's going to be a really interesting little thing that we're going to do in a minute with this little piece. So let's just pull all these petals onto this side, I think. I'm going to just weave along into here and the next. So we're going to do like a little herringbone type stitch in a bit, which is going to bring these petals together. You'll see it in a minute. Not yet. Be prepared. It's coming. So we'll go into here. And most importantly, don't forget, we're going to extend this little loop here. So pick one up into the end and through there so that it sits on the outside edge. Whoops, don't get your tail thread caught. Rotate again. And let's peyote back down. Once again. And again. Till we get back to the beginning. And now this time, we'll add one in here. Just in that last little bead. We'll keep our tail thread out of the way. Stitch these two beads to each other. So skip that little yellow one into this bead here. And now we're going to do a step up. So a step up is more or less passing back into the first bead that you added in this row. So just step up into that last one there. And that's going to bring us into position to do our next row of peyote stitch. So now let's pick up one bead. We're going to skip the little down bead and into the next one that's sticking up. Skip the little down bead and into the next one that's sticking up. Skip the little down bead into this one here. Plus we're going to go into that little top corner bead there and we're going to extend it once again. So pick up one more, loop back into that same bead. We're going to keep adding little beads onto the tip like this each time. So we're doing our second row of peyote stitch now. So let's just come back here, then into here, skip a bead and into the next, skip a bead into the next, then skip a bead into the next. And now if you have a look, this is how we bring our petals towards each other. We're exiting from this bead here. We're going to skip this bead, the green bead, and this bead to go directly into the next sort of sticky uppy bead that was in the row that we added previously. So as we do that, it's going to just herringbone stitch those two little petals nicely towards each other, like so. And now we can continue doing our peyote stitch. So skip the gap and into the next. Pick up a bead. skip the gap and into the next, skip the gap and into the next, fill this little corner, stick one on the end, and back down the other side. Get out of the way, Mr. Tail Thread. And we're going to just continue back down, and I'll show you that last little stitch one last time. So pick it up, skip the down, pull tight, skip the down, into the next, pull tight, and you can see these little petals just get bigger and bigger each time. And we'll go into that last little up bead just there. And now we're going to skip 1, 2, 3 and into the next up bead. So every time we go round, we're going to end up just that little bit higher up our work. Try not to get caught on your work there. Of course, it's stuck. Come on now. Get out of there. There we go. Off you go. And then as we pull that tight, all these little herringbone stitches cause it to come closer and closer and closer and close up until eventually, once we've finished doing our fourth row of peyote, I can't remember if it's 4 rows or 3. I'll have to check the instructions, but I'm pretty sure it's 3 maybe. I mean, it doesn't matter. You can keep going. You can do 4, you can do 5, you can do 6. Every time you do another row, you'll just make your flower just a little bit larger. So there we go. Let's just go back through here. And I'm going to finish after this little round. I'm not going to show you the next rows. It's essentially the exact same process all the way around. So now, into the corner, add on our sticky uppy bead. By the way, I should mention, if you accidentally forget your sticky uppy bead, it's not the end of the world. You can just add 1, 2, 3 beads. It's not as good, but it'll still work by just having that 1, 2, 3 beads at the end there. So instead of doing a single bead peyote stitch, you just do 3 beads. It's a nice way to rectify a problem if you accidentally make one. So not something you need to worry about if you do it right, but if you make a mistake, you can just do 3 beads at the end. So through there, into here, up there, into that last little up bead, pull tight, and now we're going to skip the same beads on the inside just here, into this bead here, and do the next little step up process once again. So through that first bead, pull that tight, and step up into this fella. There we go. And then it's exactly the same all the way around. So as you continue, it will become closer and closer and closer. You literally just peyote stitch each of these little spaces once again to add your next one. So it comes together nicely. In fact, I'll just do this one last petal to show you the little herringbone increase one last time because it's now on a new row. Let's do our little adding of a pointy bead at the end, which even on your last row, you would do that just to give it a nice little finish. Through here, into here, and I'm running out of thread, so it's definitely important to have your full meter for this one if you're going to make it as big as you're going to make it. Into here. I mean, the instructions to finish this little fella off are included with the kit, of course, but it is pretty much just doing this little process. Look, this is the last up bead. We'll go into this one here, and we've skipped 1. So we're exiting this bead, we're skipping 1, 2, the yellow, 1, 2, so we're just going to go straight up that one there. And as you pull that tight, look at that, pulls it all nicely together, and you can do your next little peyote stitches like so. See, there you go. And it just comes together slowly but surely. As you go round and round and round, you'll just stitch the 2 edges together, sort of zipping them up a bit, little by little by little by little, like that, and then it all comes together nicely. But anyway, that there is how you do these ones. This is how you do that one. You can use this exact same technique. See, look, I've done it with a size 8 bead at the end here to make a leaf. I mean, I could have done it with size 8s all the way through the center if I wanted to. It's up to you how you want to do it. And then, of course, the last one, which again is included with your kit, is this very, very cute little bell-shaped flower here as well. So anyway, that is that for this week. Let me show you very quickly on the Bead Spider website what it looks like today. So if you haven't seen it, if you just pop over to the the description section. So if you are on YouTube, the description is down below. Expand it because there's loads of links in there. So click the little show more button. If you're on Facebook, the description is up above, so you should be able to see it up there. If you just go onto that, there's loads of links. The one which is for today's tutorial, which it says, hey, do you want to get the kit or whatever it is, will take you to the Bead Spider website directly to our Field of Flowers related products page. So what that looks like today is this little page just here. Now, if you've never seen our website just before, where it will take you to, if you just scroll up, you can see the video that we've just been making. I'm going to add in extra things down here, but if you come down to the bottom, if you want to get more size 10 seed beads, if you want to get some of our 4mm check glass pressed round beads, you can do that there. And if you want to get more of our like findings for doing hair things, or if you want to do it as like a key ring or a pair of cufflinks or something like that, all of our miscellaneous findings, you can view them here. But anyway, scroll up and here's today's video. So if you missed the beginning, you can also watch the video on the Bead Spider website. So if you want to just choose them, this is the deep fuchsia, which I've been demonstrating with just here. If you want to add that to your basket, £16.95, very, very good price because it makes up to 20 flowers. So I think that works out somewhere in the region of like 80 pence or 90 pence per flower. If you are in the US or in Europe, you can change your currency up here. It will probably be automatically in the currency of your country, but if you are in Canada, for example, and you want to pay in US dollars, or if you are in Sweden and you have or Switzerland even, and want to pay with euros because you have a euros account, whatever, you can choose your currency up here. Just click on that just there, and then you can see, look, there you go, 20 flowers for $23. So it's about a little over $1 per flower. Very, very inexpensive. There's that one there. But if you want to get an even bigger discount, it's this one here. So it says 10% off both. See that? 10% off both Field of Flowers hair accessories kits. Makes up to 40 flowers, actually, that one. I should change it. So that's that one just there. This one is the deep fuchsia. This one is the dusty rose. Just add to the basket if you just want one. But if you want to get both at that discounted price, which includes, both of them include all of the findings, plus the thread, plus the needle, all of that stuff, just add to the basket either one or both of them together in your desired currency. Now, last thing as well that I will show you. Good. Some of those things are appearing already. Sounds like someone is paying attention. There you go. Hair clips, all sorts of hair things here as well. Bobby pins, loads of these things. They're coming in as we speak. Maybe even some of the 4mm drucks will magically appear in there. The 4mm round check glass. Now, if you come up here, if you arrive to our website, which our website is www.beadspider.co.uk, this is what the homepage of the website looks like. Just to tell you, one last chance, if you missed last week's tutorial where I did this Saturn bracelet, if you come to the homepage, you can have a look. Here's the Saturn bracelet, the Alexandra pearl necklace, the posy of roses, French beaded flowers here as well. Just choose whichever video you want. But if you go onto the Saturn bracelet between now and Sunday, which will be the 18th of June 2023, click on that just there, and it will firstly show you the video so you can watch the video. But if you scroll on down, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 gorgeous colors that you can choose which one takes your fancy. Just here, there it is, £14.95. Add it to the basket if you want to, just there. Choose your favorite color, but between now and Sunday, if you want 10% off, you can choose any 2, or if you want 15% off, you can choose any 3 or more. So if I just click this button that says select options, it'll take you to the page where you can choose them as you see fit. So if you like this Aquarius color, which it makes 2 bracelets, 2 rings, and 2 pairs of earrings, you can just click that one. This one is a very, very good set. All of these colors make the 6 pieces of jewelry. You can say, I'll have one of this color. You can say, yeah, I like this cosmic blue color. I'll have one of them. You can say, do you know what? I don't think I'll get the purple, but I will get the magenta meteor. You've chosen your 3 colors then, and you can just scroll on down and add it to the basket, and you can see you get that lovely 15% discount when you add it to the basket. So just choose whichever 3 colors you like. You can also add a 4th, and you get 15% off the 4th one. If you want to get all 5 colors, add them all in, and you get 15% off. Add it to your basket. It's all done as one big bundle. But that is pretty much it for me for today. As per usual, just click on this little kits and tutorials section. We got lots of kits. We have loads and loads of patterns as well. We have loads of video tutorials. Go check them all out. Our patterns, there's a link in the description if you want to get a £5 voucher to try out some of our patterns. We've got loads of the different patterns right here for you to go and purchase and view and whatever. And if you're brand new, you can get a £5 voucher towards your patterns. But yeah, that is pretty much it from me for today. So if you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to our channel as well, of course. Make sure you click the little bell so that you get notifications. Sign up to our newsletter, all of those sorts of things. You know the routine by now. I'm sure loads of people are telling it to you in all of their videos, and ours are just the same. So yeah, thank you all very much for joining. In case you are completely brand new and you don't know anything about us, we do tutorials every Friday. Most of the time they are live. Sometimes if we are away or someone is, you know, on holiday or something, we might do a pre-recorded video, but for the most part they are live, same time, which is 3 p.m. UK time, which I think is about 10 p.m. on the east coast of the US, 10 a.m. on the east coast, 7 a.m. on the west coast of the US. It's probably somewhere in the region of like midnight in Australia, or 1 a.m. maybe. Yeah, maybe about midnight actually. But yeah, so there's you can work it out based on your time zone. 3 p.m. UK time is when I go live. So anyway, I will be back again next Friday. I will be live for that one and the one after. So yeah, thank you all very, very much for joining me. I hope you had lots of fun. I hope you learned something new. Sorry we didn't get time to do that third little design, but I have done something very similar. I'll put a link in the description for the third video. I've done something similar in the past. I might even do some pre-records on each of them as well. So thank you all very, very much for watching. I hope you have a lovely weekend. We still have Eugenia is here, Ornella is still here, Jan, Purple Penny, Stacy, Angelica, Trish. I can only shout you out, by the way, if you comment in. So if you want me to give you a shout out, comment in and say hello. Diane is here, Kirsten as well, Carol, Nancy, Elaine, over on Facebook. We also have Trish and Jan and Angelica. Thank you all very, very much. I will see you all next week. So thanks for joining me, and I'll see you then. Have a lovely weekend, and bye-bye.